Well, good afternoon on it's the 30th of July. Tomorrow's the last day of July 24. It's the 30th. It's a superb day, it's splendid. But I thought for something different I'd take you out to the Bennybeg Plant Centre. This is my third home. Apart from my own house and Emily Kirk, I'm always here. Because I love being with the flowers. And I think what I wanted to show you to start with is the Rebecca. This is a plant that I absolutely adore, and unfortunately I've never really got around to growing it in my garden because it gets choked out with all the rest of the stuff, and there's not enough sunshine for these plants in my garden, to be honest. There's too much shade from the rowan trees at the perimeter of my property. But I love them. They're a splendid plant, and I absolutely adore them all. And these dahlias, these are giant-headed dahlias, and my grandmother would grow these, not in pots, I have to say, but she'd plant them down into the soil every single spring as soon as the frosts were back. I remind us when these plants, these are these, and this is one of the. This has caught my eye because this is one that she would have had. These are the dwarf varieties for pots, but my grandmother had she stored them over the winter in wooden boxes wrapped in newspaper and all sorts and straw and stuff to keep the frost away. Once the frost was gone, she'd plant them out, and I used to give it a hand. It was quite amazing watching these plants come up through the surface and reaching, goodness me, 4 or 5, almost 5 feet in height, and then the flowers sticking up way beyond that. But it's an expensive business coming to the garden centre, unfortunately, but if you get the right choice of a flower, you can plant it, so it will grow and double in size. So within 3 years you've got your money back if you split it and want to sell it or divide it up and put it into different areas of the garden if your garden's massive. Something I've missed out on in life is having a garden. I had visualised my own garden when I came to my property, and I've got it exactly the way I wanted it. However, my only trouble is the willow hedge. The willow has got deep penetrating roots which are very invasive, and therefore what happens is they prop up everywhere and choke the soil. And of course there's many self-seeding rowan and birch trees which keep appearing, which causes a similar type problem. These are the ornamental grasses. If you're into grasses, these are the sort of thing you want in your borders, but I'm not a particular fan. I have got them, but I'm not really a fan of having grasses. I'd rather have flowers. And these are all the fruit-bearing shrubs, and I mean it's just about everything you want in this place. This is the alpine plants here. And again, they're absolutely wonderful. They really are superb quality. But just little miniatures and the heathers and stuff, I'm keeping people out of my images. I'm sure they don't want to be filmed, but just if you want a small rockery or something, these are ideal for filling the spaces, and a few alpine plants and you've got yourself a perfect rockery in your garden. And we have along here the fruit trees, and don't be tempted by picking the rose apple. This is what happened in the Garden of Eden, of course. So never be tempted to pick somebody else's apples. You could ask. I mean, somebody's obviously got down in their hands and knees and out of sight of the CCTV cameras and taken a big bloody munch out of that apple. probably when they stood up and wiped their lips of the apple juice and the couple of core seeds in the stuck between their teeth, they probably got reprimanded for the nonsense. Well, so you really could, I mean, you could come in here with a checkbook and, well, you could empty your bank accounts in one day at our garden centre, there's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it at all. So, I mean, it's not only the middle classes that have an interest in gardening. In fact, it was actually the working classes which had gardening because they couldn't afford to do any other things in life. They couldn't go sailing or, you know, ride horses as sport or play polo or anything like that. So they were very keen gardeners and always had been. And then somewhere in the late 1960s into the 1970s, the middle classes took over and all the prices shot up. So we've got a gazebo section here and with outrageous prices. But well, not outrageous if you're earning 300,000 a year or something. You won't mind parting with £1,000 for some silly wood. But I love it. You can see the rock formation behind there. This is where the juniors start the rock climbing and their abseiling apprenticeship, and then further along the volcanic rock rises quite steeply, and of course you've got a much higher level for climbing, and once they're acclimatized to that, then they start climbing the mountains. Unfortunately, there's a big difference from climbing the north face of Bennybeg as there is to climbing a few feet at Bennybeg. So it's a splendid day, as I say, and I think we're all due a bit of sunshine, because if we don't get sunshine, the vitamin D levels drop in the body and it causes all sorts of illness through the winter. And if you're like me and you suffer from seasonal affective disorder, then the winters can be terrible for the lack of sunlight and daylight. But, so we'll have a little pop around. I'm going to get coffee because they've opened a cafe here as well, which I think is quite a good idea. But I love the flowers. I mean, I'm a great fan of flowers. I always have been, of course, and I stick my face into the scented blooms and chat to the bumblebees and whatever else is in there. These are lovely hydrangeas, Annie. Again, my grandmother, I talk a lot about my granny because I did spend a lot of time there as a child, but I do have memories of my mum and dad's garden. They were fantastic gardeners, my mum particularly. But granny had the big high hydrangea bush, which was blue, sky blue, and lilac. It depends on the soil, of course, because you can have pink, purple or blue hydrangea. It depends entirely on the soil type you've got, you see. I love the echo I've got in this little arena. And these are all the ornamental spruces and stuff and conifers, which are fine until they get too high and then they become a damn nuisance. Look at this water. Isn't water a lovely thing? I do, I love water. Water sings to you, eh? It does, it always sings to you a very nice tune. And these are all the things a gardener needs. And I mean, yes, as I say, you could end up completely crazy with all the things that you think you need, but if you think back for the number of years that you've not had them, then you didn't need them at all. In saying that, I bought a couple of heavy plant pots the other day. I had to check. I'm going to transplant my lavender and my garden mint into bigger pots, so I needed to buy a couple. So they weren't cheap, any. It wasn't cheap. I nearly fainted at the checkout when the chap says to me, "This will be such and such price." I says, "Oh dear, it's a bit over budget for me." He said, "Do you want them or not?" And I says, "Well, no, to hell, I may as well just take them now. I'll recover the losses." Right, this is something else I'm always buying bloody loads of. And it's never the same since they get rid of the peat. You see all this nonsense about peat free. No, a garden needs peat. And it's peat also shows off all the plants as well, the darkness of the colour of the peat. Topsoil. I've got lots of this stuff I've put in the garden previously. It is a good quality topsoil, this Levington, I'll have to tell you that. It does the job. And if you come at the right time, you get a pretty good deal in the winter months, for example. Yes. I hope you're enjoying this footage. I am. But, so this is why you've got to sort of specialise. If you've got a small garden, you can't have everything. So you decide you want a miniature type garden with you know, gravel and conifers, you know, miniature conifers and alpine plants, or do you want a spectacular floral arrangement like I have, or do you want a dull garden with just you know, simple paving slabs and gravel and the odd sort of middle class type of pot, you know. But this place was only opened, I can't remember exactly when, but it's only really been open for 20 years or something. It's expanded there wonderfully. And it's such a great place in the heart of Southern, because it's, I mean, look, you can see the sky, and it gets the sun from, you know, first thing in the morning till last thing at night, so it's very good for lots of the plants. I'm just going to switch this camera off for a moment. I want to have a chat with this female staff member, because I recognise I want to have a blather. Yes, it was interesting to catch up with somebody and have a bit blather. These roses have gone back. Roses are for the month of June, and they're all gone back. Are they scented? They are, they're beautiful, they really are. Look, this rose said, "Annie, I kept myself here all this time for you to come and see me. So I'm very grateful, because I couldn't keep this beautiful dress on forever. And I'm so pleased that you came. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for coming to see me." Oh, it's a gorgeous smell. It really is. What not a smell. It smells a sort of negative odour. A scent. Odoriferous. This is odoriferous. No, it's not. It's not as scented as that other one. Oh, I think that's the worst thing about roses. These are beautiful. You lean in to, you know, to have a good old sniff, and you end up with a bloody rose thorn scratched right down the front of your nose or something. This is still to come though, Andy. Look, looks like it's going to be a peach colour or something. But I don't like this sort of nonsense. I'm not really a fan. I like the pig. I've got a pig in my garden that never gets. In the summertime you can't see my pig, because it's all covered with the plants. This is a lovely old pig. I like pig. I had a piggy bank, that's why I got a fondness for it. It was a Weems Pottery piggy bank. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I used to collect all my coins, and I remember the very first time I put a 50p piece into it, and I thought, now we're starting to save money, Andrew. And When I did empty it, I think I had about £9, which is a heck of a lot of money in the, well, the 1970s. I think I took it to the... Ah, yes, I took out a small white purse, and I wanted to go to the shows, the fun fair. I've been to the movies. I've been to the cinema, local cinemas, to see Live and Let Die with Roger Moore. I came up and I felt like Bond, some sort of delusional thing I had as a child, and I came up and I thought it was Roger Moore. And I came in and I swapped my jacket and I said, Granny, I'm going down to the shows. No, I took the purse, and she lifted the window and she said, where are you going? I said, I'm going down to the shows, Granny. She said, you've not got any money, I'll only give you money for the pictures. I said, I've taken my purse, I've got 50. And it's the first time my granny went, bloody crazy. She said, how do you expect to save money and you're going to squander the bloody shows? She was very angry. I'd never seen my granny that angry before. So it's also dented my nights when I went down to the fun fair. I think I won a coconut. Yes, I did. I won a coconut. I spent the bloody lot. I'm going in to have a look at the clothing in here. So I was going to switch off. I don't think they'll allow. Unlike at Braemar on Saturday, I was up there at Braemar on Saturday. I took the bloody camera out inside the store, and I think, what the hell's this chap up to? It doesn't look right in the bloody head, that boy. I think that was the sort of impression that most of them had of me. But we'll go in anyway and have a little look about. It's not bad. I've looked at some of the gent stuff, and it's alright, but it's not really my style, not completely. There's a lot of sorts of purchases you would make is impulse buying, more than anything. It's not something you would come in and say, oh, that's definitely what I'm wanting, and I'm going to buy that. No, not really. There's a bit of a browsing sort of thing. Look at all the chiffon scarves. Somebody with a middle class background would have a bloody field day in here, actually, Andy. And yeah, it's all right, Andy. Comfortable looking, but this is furniture for sale. I mean, who the hell's going to spend this amount of money? Well, it's conservative sort of furniture, isn't it? It's very dull and grey, though. I don't really like that, Andy. But, anyway, we've had a thorough look around, and it's all right. No, the hat doesn't even interest me either, but there we go. So what we'll do is we'll go along and find where the cafe entrance is and get ourselves a coffee, please, Annie. And as I said, it's absolutely wonderful here. I've thoroughly enjoyed just browsing around. You know, really nice, Annie. So there's the Bennybeg rock face that the climbers use to practice, and the abseilers throw themselves off the top and with their fingers crossed, and hopefully they bounce off the rock face on their plummet south. And this is the same rock that I showed you from Drummond Castle, just east of the gardens, sorry, just west of the gardens, I beg your pardon, when I was at Drummond Castle, whenever that was, I can't remember, I've got no memory. Every day I wake up is the start of a new life for me, and so anything that happened before I went to bed is obsolete. The barley's ripening, and I might put this on my stubble list for a field to walk upon once it's all sheared back and processed. Of course, that barley won't be for feed. That will be for the whiskey crop. Sorry, the crop for the whiskey. There's more cereal in Scotland grown for whiskey than there is for bread. You know that. In fact, I'd go as far to say there's more cereal crop grown for animal feed than there is bloody bread. and hence why you go to the supermarket and you get this cheap variety, the processed white flour with added chemicals. And I did tell you that I was going to send a dry piece of Warburton's bread to the CEO. Greetings. This is one of your slices of bread after 2 days. It's rock solid. I've managed to put a stamp in the top right hand corner. I might just write to him on a piece of bread actually. Yeah, so I might get a calligraphy pen or something and do some fine writing and send it to him. So I'm disappointed with your bread. I don't ever understand why supermarkets and ask you to provide the bread. It's bloody awful. If you put it under the toaster, it shrinks to about half its size. If you try and chew it in a sandwich, you need a toothbrush and toothpick with you. And as I say, if you leave it for 2 days sitting in the corner on the outside the bread bin or something, it turns solid, more solid than a bloody brick. I think what we'll do, Andy, I think we'll head out that way. It was a very pleasant place I visited last week. I'm going to sit in that red bench, let me get my bearings, and we'll go and find that place and sit a while.